Welcome to this SAT Math session provided by Tutorgram. Topics covered in SAT Math section can be broadly divided into four different categories. Today, we will look at additional topics in math.
Let's discuss the concept of complex numbers. Imagine we need to take square root of negative 36. We can first factorize it as square root of negative 1 times 6 times 6. Since we have a pair of 6, we can take it out of the square root. We will have square root of negative 1 times 6. Square root of negative 1 can be written as I. We can also figure out few other values of I. For example, I square can be written as I times I or negative 1. Similarly, I cube can be written as I square times I or negative 1 times I, which will give us negative I. I power 4 can be written as I square times I square or negative 1 times negative 1, which will give us positive 1. I values repeat themselves every fourth multiple of the power. For example, I power 5 can be written as I power 4 times I or 1 times I or simply I. I power 6 can be written as I power 4 times I power 2 or 1 times I square, which will give us I square or negative 1. I power 7 can be written as I power 4 times I power 3 or 1 times negative I, which will give us negative I. Similarly, I power 8 can be written as I power 4 square or 1 square, which will give us 1. As you can see, I values repeat themselves for every fourth multiple of the power. For example, I power 12 will be 1. Similarly, I power 16 will be 1. And if we do one more multiple of 4, we will get I power 20, which is also 1. This is quite helpful as any power that is multiple of 4 will give us 1 as the answer. For example, I power 400 can be written as I power 4 times 100. I power 4 is 1 and 1 power 100 is going to give us 1. Similarly, we can find the I values for the power which are not straightforward multiples of 4. For example, I power 401 can be rewritten as I power 400 plus 1 because 400 is a straightforward multiple of 4 and 1 is the remainder. We have already seen that I power 400 will give us 1 and I power 1 can be simply written as I. Another similar example is I power 402. 402 can be splitted into 400 plus 2. 400 is a multiple of 4, 2 is a remainder. We get 1 times I square. I square can be simplified into negative 1. In this way, we can simplify any power of I by finding the closest multiple of 4. For example, 403 can be rewritten as 400 plus 3. 400 is the closest multiple of 4 and 3 is the remainder. I power 400 is 1. I power 3 can be simplified as negative I. Therefore, final answer is negative I. As I value repeat themselves every fourth multiple of the power, I power 404 has the same value as I power 400. That is,
I would like to tell you about our services at Tutorgram. We provide one on one sessions to both high school and college students in physics, chemistry, math, and biology. We also help students increase their score in SAT, GRE, GMAT, and MCAT. All our tutors are graduates of Ivy League universities, and they will be more than happy to create personal and interactive study sessions for you. If you are interested in a trial lesson, please email or call us with your specific requirements, and we will get back to you.
in SAT tests, you will be asked to identify and work with complex numbers. Complex numbers have a real component and an imaginary component. Here, A is the real part and BI is the imaginary component. We can represent a complex number on x and y axes, where x-axis is the real component and the y-axis is the imaginary component. We can draw the complex number as a vector, where real component is drawn on the x-axis and imaginary component is drawn on the y-axis. Let's say real component is 6 units and imaginary component is 8 units. We can easily draw that vector as 6 plus 8i. Just like real numbers, complex numbers also follow the rules of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. For example, 1 plus 2i plus 3 plus 4i will give us 4 plus 6i. Real components will get added together, and imaginary components will get added separately. Similarly, we can do the subtraction of two complex numbers. For example, negative 1 plus 3i minus negative 2 plus 4i will give us negative 1 plus 3i plus 2 minus 4i. If we combine the real components, we'll get 1, and if we combine the imaginary component, we'll get negative I. In multiplication, we will use the FOILing method, where we would multiply all numbers to each other. For example, if we multiply 1 plus 2i to negative 1 plus 3i, we need to multiply 1 to both negative 1 and 3i. That will give us negative 1 plus 3i. We need to also multiply 2i to negative 1 and 3i, which will give us negative 2i plus 6i squared. Let's combine the like terms together. Negative 1 is written as such. 3i and negative 2i can be combined together and written as I. 6i squared can be rewritten as 6 times negative 1. This will give us negative 1 plus I minus 6. Negative 1 and negative 6 will give us negative 7 plus I. In division, you need to set up a fraction of two complex numbers. For example, let's divide 1 plus I by 1 minus 2i. To simplify this, we will multiply both top and bottom by the complex conjugate of 1 minus 2i, that is 1 plus 2i. To simplify the numerator, we will use the FOILing method, where we would multiply everything to each other. We will get 1 plus 2i plus I plus 2i squared. In the denominator, multiplication of two complex conjugate will get rid of the imaginary component, and we will get 1 square minus 2i complete square. In the numerator, we will get 1 plus 3i minus 2, as imaginary components add up together, and I square can be rewritten as negative 1. In the denominator, we will get 1 minus 4i square. I square can be rewritten as negative 1. In the numerator, we will get negative 1 plus 3i. In the denominator, we will get 5.
If you're looking for one-on-one tutoring, please feel free to reach out via email or cell phone, and I will be happy to answer any of your questions. Please subscribe to our channel for more SAT content. Feel free to share this video with any friends who might need help with SAT math.